half. Hoffman trying to finish the job. His 1-2 pitch. There it is! The Toronto Blue Jays have punched their ticket to the championship series. Going through the New York Yankees in 4 games, and again, withstanding the Yankees' best punch.
Hey guys, I'm back with the ALCS preview for the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. So obviously I'm back, so that means that the Yankees did lose to Toronto, so I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go over the craziest series that Seattle had with Detroit. And let's get into it. So basically, the Mariners and the Blue Jays, I don't know if it's their first matchup. I couldn't really find whether it's their first matchup in the playoffs. No, it's not, because no, it's not, because I know that Seattle beat Seattle beat the Blue Jays a couple years ago. I think like back-to-back sweeps and like the in the wild card. So this is the time for Toronto to get some revenge. So just again some basic stats. Seattle finished 90-72 on the season, 51-30 at home, and 39-42 on the road. Toronto finished 94-68 on the season, 54-27 at home, and 40-41 on the road. So the season series, it goes Toronto's way. Toronto won 4-2. So the first 3 games that were in Seattle, Toronto swept the Mariners. So Toronto won game 1 9-1, Toronto won game 2 6-3, and Toronto won game 3 6-3. And then the series in Toronto, Seattle beat Toronto 8-3. Then Seattle beat Toronto 8-4, and then Toronto won the last game at home at Rogers Center 3-1. So that leaves the season series 4-2. So Bo Bichette, the Jays are still missing Bo Bichette. Obviously that did not mean jack squat in the LDS, as I'll get to that, but yeah, that didn't mean jack squat. But if they do have that back, then if they do have his bat back, then they'd be honestly set for the series for sure. Because this is not going to be an easy series. Obviously, it's best of 7 now, so again, you have to win best 4 out of 7 basically, so we're going to see who can get there first. But the previous series for both teams, so basically going for the ALDS for Seattle. So I did not watch the most of the series. I watched Game 5. And if you guys watched the game, you know how crazy Game 5 really was. So Detroit wins game 1 in Seattle 3-2, so they had a 1-0 series lead. Game 2, Seattle won 3-2, so it was a tied series going back to Detroit. Game 3, Seattle beat the Tigers 8-4 to take a 2-1 series lead, and then Detroit stormed back in Game 4 to win 9-3 in Detroit, and then forced a Game 5 back in Seattle. Game 5, I started watching top 7. It was 2-1 Detroit. Seattle tied it in the bottom of the 7th, and it stayed that way for a good few hours. It just didn't move. It just stayed that way for a good few hours, and I was like, what the fuck? So basically, eventually, Seattle breaks through. Basically, there was like a bunch of people on it in extra innings. No one could score. It was like first and second, nobody out. Second, third, nobody out, or 2 outs, or whatever the case may be, and no one could score. Until the bottom of the 15th inning, where the Seattle Mariners walked it off after their 6th opportunity to do so. They couldn't do it 9, not 10, not 11, not 12, not 13, not 14. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, in their 7th opportunity to close out the series, they did. Seattle scores, 3-2 Seattle victory. In 15 innings, the game went until about 1 a.m. my time, so I think the game was about 5 hours long, which typically it's about 3 or even 2.5, so the game was basically double the amount of time. If it went to 18 innings, that'd be basically 2 games in 1. So that's really good for Jays and Jays fans, because again, Seattle used a lot of their pitchers. Seattle, I think, used like a good few of their starting pitchers in extra innings, and basically both teams had to go all out, even if it meant putting yourself for the ALCS, because you have to make it to the ALCS first, right? So basically the Jays obviously are watching this like with their feet up, all happy, because it's like, damn bro, this is great. This is great for the Jays, because then again, they're using all their starting pitchers. The starting pitcher that was supposed to beat Game 1, I don't know who it is. I know Game 1 for tomorrow is going to be Gosman. I haven't looked into too much for who the starting pitchers will be for Seattle, but we're going to see. And either way, they're not going to be rested. Basically, nobody's rested for tomorrow. So Toronto has a strong chance of winning Game 1, and if they don't, that's not good. But anyways, that was the ALDS for Seattle and Detroit. The ALDS for the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Game 1, Toronto just killed them. Toronto killed the Yankees. 10-1. Just easy. Now, there was some hard moments. It was 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th or 6th, or sorry, the top of the 5th or 6th, where the Jays had a bases loaded walk, scoring a run for the Yankees. It was 2-1. Toronto basically eventually teed off, scoring eight runs on the Yankees bullpen, winning the game in very convincing fashion, 10-1. A very easy win, not stressful at all, except the middle part of it where it was 2-0 and 2-1. After that, not stressful at all. Anyways, Jays kill it, game 1. Jays. Game 2, the Jays also killed them. The Jays were up by 12 runs. I was expecting New York to come out swinging. I was expecting New York to come out with the same win like Toronto did the night before. No. So Toronto was up by 12. Toronto was up 12-0. New York scores 7 on Toronto's bad bullpen guys. Toronto wins 13-7. So they win by 6, but they were up by 12. But again, a win's a win. I don't care if you I didn't expect them to be up by 12. I didn't even know if they'd be up by 2 or 3. They were up 12. I was happy with that. That's fine. Game 3. So again, we're going to New York we're going to New York up 2-0 for Toronto. And Toronto just has to win one game. Win one game. Just don't let it go back to Toronto for game 5, and you're settled. Now the Jays are doing pretty good in game 3. It's 6-1 Toronto. They blow it. And New York comes back. Aaron Judge with a 3-run shot. A good few errors for the Jays cost them the game. So instead of winning the series 3-0 and sweeping the Yankees come back and then give them some life, and it's 9-6 Yankees for the win. And I was like, no, that's not good, because here's my mind, here's my thinking. Okay, so the Jays had a bullpen game on game 4, and I was kind of like, you know what, it's in New York. This is basically a must-win for the Yankees. They're probably gonna tee off on us. I was wrong. The Jays win 5-2 in New York in game 4 to take the series 3-1 in New York and celebrate in the Yankees clubhouse, basically. Crazy. Did not expect that literally whatsoever. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Again, how? Literally no idea. But they got it done. Anytime you doubt this team, they always come back and bite you in the ass, basically, because they're not done. They're not done. So yeah, basically, my friend said, as you never doubt this team, because they're going to come back. They will. They will rebound, and they will come back. So yeah, Bieber had a bad start in game 3, and then the bullpen obviously did a great job in game 4, only allowing 2 runs, and Toronto scores 5. So that was a great series for the Jays. Toronto easily wins 3-1. Toronto is now 56-27 at home, including those 2 playoff wins. And Toronto is now 41-42 on the road. They won 1 and lost 1. Before they were 40-41, now 41-42. Seattle is now 53-31 at home, and Seattle is now 40-43 on the road. So basically, they're not that great on the road, but they're still obviously decent. And yeah, Toronto is 41-42 on the road, but they won all 3 games in Seattle. Toronto has home field this series. Toronto was 1-2 against Seattle at home this year, so the Jays were 1-2 against the Mariners at Rogers Center, and then Toronto was 3-0 in Seattle this year as well. So 3-0 and 1-2. That's 4-2 series win for Toronto. Which again, the regular season doesn't matter. Just kind of putting it into perspective here. So basically, that's that. That's basically your stats. It's a 7-game series now, not 5. So it's the best 4 out of 7. Toronto outscored New York 34-19 in the ALCS. Insane. 10 runs, 13 runs, 6 runs, and 5 runs. And plus, to get 6 runs and then 5 runs in New York is not easy. That's 11 runs in 2 games. In New York, that's not easy to do. Yes, they got 23, but they were at home in game 1 and 2. So, yeah, Toronto outscores them 34-19. Crazy. And Detroit actually outscored Seattle 20-19, but the Seattle Mariners won. So Seattle with the win, with the huge win yesterday. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Detroit outscored them, but somehow lost the series. So, is what it is. Now the ALCS schedule starts tomorrow at 8:02 or 8:03 p.m. It's a pretty late start for a Sunday, but 8:03. But also Monday is Canadian Thanksgiving, so everyone basically has the day off. I don't, because I work all the time. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's what it is. I'll be able to watch the game tomorrow at least, and maybe Monday, maybe not. No, probably not Monday. It's fine. Who cares? Basically, the Jays play game 1 and 2 Sunday and Monday in Toronto. I think at 8 p.m. and 4 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. I know tomorrow's game is at 8, but I don't know for sure about game 2. Anyways, basically, there's going to be 2 games in Toronto, then 3 games in Seattle, then 2 games in Toronto again. So basically, 2-3-2. Yeah. So basically, honestly, I feel the Jays have to win game 1 and 2, because then you go into Seattle up by 2 games. and then you're in great shape. You're in fantastic shape, even though the next 3 are in Seattle. You are in great shape to win the series because, again, you were 3-0 in Seattle out of the series. You obviously had no issues winning there. And apparently they're 1-2 at Rogers Center against the Mariners, which, again, that could change. I'm not going to be surprised if the Jays tee off on the Mariners tomorrow because, again, seeing what Toronto did to New York, and New York's a pretty damn good team, 10-1, 13-7, 23-8. You outscored the Yankees 23-8 in 2 games. Crazy. And honestly, Game 1 is likely in Toronto's favor as well because basically Toronto has home field. That's a huge thing for the Jays. I know that because, again, Toronto would not score 23 runs in the first 2 games if those were in New York. Hands down, not going to happen. So, home field was honestly huge for them. Toronto has more rest. Obviously, they finished the series on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, they finished the series Wednesday the 8th, and they were off until today. So Thursday, full day off. Friday, full day off. Saturday, full day off. And then Sunday, everybody's ready, and plus it's an evening game, so they basically have Sunday off as well. So basically, the Jays are fully rested. We're going to have Gosman in Game 1. I don't know who it is for Seattle still. I don't know if they released it yet, but basically Gosman, again, he's been a beast. He's basically the Game 1 starter all the time. Savage has also been a beast. I believe he starts in Game 2, and he's been a beast. So I'm not going to be surprised if Savage starts Game 2 and they win, because Savage had 11 strikeouts in Game 2 in the ALDS against the Yankees, and I expect the same performance in Toronto against Seattle. Again, will it be harder? Of course it will. The series are not going to get easier, they're going to get harder, right? So we're going to see what happens. If there's any Seattle fans, let me know, and may the best team win. I really hope it's Toronto, because I've never seen Toronto go to a World Series before, so that'd be freaking nice. So in about a week or a week and a half, let's see if I make another video for the World Series preview. But basically, yeah, Toronto is likely in favor here. I don't know exactly the stat, like the whole, like Toronto was obviously a lot better in the ALDS than Seattle was in theirs. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was 9 for 17 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. Alejandro Kirk was 4 for 18 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. Dalton Varsho was 7 for 16, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. Clemens was a beast as well, 9 for 14. 9 for 14, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, fantastic. Springer was only 3 for 17 with 1 home run and 2 RBIs, not that good, but he still contributed. Even Addison Barger, 4 for 12, no home runs, no RBIs, but he was 4 for 12. Jimenez was 4 for 15, 2 RBIs, Kiner Fluffa, 0 for 6, not that great. Nathan Lucas came in the clutch, 5 RBIs, he was 4 for 12. Anthony Santander, 2 for 10, 2 RBIs, important. Davis Schneider, 2 for 6. And Miles Straw, 2 for 5 with an RBI. So the Jays have been great, their offense has been fantastic, Guerrero has been a beast, which was obviously needed. Your best players have to be their best players, and in this series, they definitely were for the Jays. So, again, that'll be huge for the Jays if they can do it, they can do it, you know what I mean? Like, so Trey Savage is 1-1, a 0 ERA because he basically allowed nothing, basically allowed no runs. He was fantastic. Louis Varland was also fantastic as well. Mason Fluharty, I know, got them out of an inning. Like, Mason Fluharty has come in clutch. He always gets them out of the really bad innings where it's like first and second, second and third, nobody out or 1 out. Then he always gets them out of it, limiting the damage. As for the Seattle Mariners, I don't know any of the players, but I'm just reading it off the MLB site here. So Jorge, I don't know if I'm saying it right, George, or usually it's pronounced like Jorge. I'm just going to say Polanco. Polanco went 4 for 22 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. J.P. Crawford, 5 for 19, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Cal went 8 for 21, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. Rodriguez went 4 for 23, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Suarez, 2 for 21, 1 home run, 1 RBI. Rosarina went 4 for 23 with an RBI. Canzone went 1 for 6 with an RBI. Garver went 1 for 5 with an RBI. Naylor went 6 for 23. Luke Raley went 0 for 4. 1 for 3 for Rivas with an RBI, and then Robles 2 for 14 in this series. So Well, that was at least, yeah, because I'm pretty sure did this, Anyways, that's fine. Basically, that was in the playoffs. So obviously the numbers for the Jays, I'd say, are better. Like 9 hits for Guerrero, 4 for Kirk, 7 for Varsho, and then 8 for a relay. He was the best one for the Mariners. But yeah, like honestly, it's not even just Guerrero. Like again, Guerrero with 9, Kirk with 4, Varsho with 7, Clement with 9 as well. Lucas, Barger, Jimenez with 4, Springer with 3. You know what I mean? Like everyone's contributing. Even Davis Schneider, Miles Straw, Anthony Santander, 2 hits, which again they came at timely moments as well, right? At times. So again, honestly, I think the Jays have a great chance for this series. I don't know who's gonna win, obviously. And honestly, like I feel like the Jays could win it. Like I feel like you know what I mean? I feel like Toronto has a good chance, especially since Toronto has home field. Toronto also is 3-0 in Seattle as well, so you know what I mean? Like they're honestly really good. Again, yeah, and now you have to win 4 games, not 3, but Toronto is very capable of doing so. Again, if you win game 1 and 2, then you're set in stone. Like you're you're already great. Even if you lose game 3 in Seattle, okay, great, 2-1. Just rebound, win game 4, then you're up 3-1 after 4. Then you got 3 chances to win 1 game, right? Again, I'm not expecting a dominant series, just like 10-1, 13-7, and 5-2. But if you can win by several runs, do it. Do it. Well, I'll like tee off on them, especially tomorrow. Again, considering tomorrow's circumstances, basically the teams, Detroit and Seattle, had to fight to even make it to the ALCS. And obviously now that they're there for the Seattle Mariners, they're thinking about what to do. Because again, that game went way longer than expected, 15 innings. And then again, I had to use starting pitchers. So again, Toronto being at home, Toronto obviously outscoring New York, a very good team, 23-8. I'd be really scared if you're Seattle. Because again, obviously Seattle has a good bullpen as well. And Seattle obviously has good players too. But it's like, honestly, Toronto has a really good bullpen too. It's a pretty good start to starting pitching. Their offense has been incredible, and especially if Bo Bichette comes back, they are in great shape. Like, you know what I mean, guys? So honestly, I say Jays in 6 or 7. I'm not saying it's obviously set in stone, but I do think that the Jays have a good shot at winning this in 6 or 7. Especially because Game 6 and Game 7, if necessary, are in Toronto. Those games are huge. Again, 3, 4, 5 in Seattle, you have to win at least one of those 2. Like, let's say you do this. Let's say you win 2 in Toronto, then you win 1 in Seattle. It's 3-2 Toronto going back to Game 6, and then you have 2 chances at home to take out the Mariners and go to the World Series. I think you can do it. So honestly, as long as you take care of business at home, like they did against New York, again, Game 1 and 2 in Toronto, they lose 1 in New York, they win 1 in New York, great, you win in this series 3-1, congratulations, right? So take home field advantage while you can, because again, in the World Series, you may or may not have it, depending on who you play, if you obviously get there. And I don't think they would get it. I think if they play LA, I think LA has the best record, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know for sure, but of course we'll get there when we get there. But for now, I know Toronto has home field against the Mariners. Huge. It'll be a great series. No matter what, it'll be a great series. I don't know if it'll be as crazy as the New York one, where Toronto literally just teed off and basically destroyed them, but we're going to see what happens. So go Jays go. I really hope they can win the World Series. I really hope they can win the ALCS. And I'm just curious what kind of a series we're going to see, because I was not ready for I was not expecting the New York one at all, but hopefully I'll be watching the game tomorrow, so hopefully it's good. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys later on. I'll put probably another video with a reaction video like I typically do, and I'll see you guys later. Hopefully in a week or 2, I'll be doing the World Series preview for the Blue Jays. I'll see you guys later. Deuces. Peace. Go Jays go.